Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome back. This is Daily Trade Analysis with a quick market update for today, April 9th, Tuesday. Today, we didn't have any economic data. We are waiting for tomorrow's CPI, and we are going straight to the chart to see the price action for today because we continue seeing the Nasdaq in this tight range, which we tried to push higher, taking this liquidity up here, and we failed miserably. And look at this recovery that we are seeing, but there's more than that. The market has been so choppy during the overnight because look at this. This is the overnight, the usual price action lower, then higher, and then we open London session right here. We try to go higher, we manipulate the highs, and then we go straight to the lows on pre-market to manipulate both sides, up and down. And then I took my trade because after this rejection lower, I said, okay, let's take a stop for, again, a rotation to highs, because looks like the market right now waiting for important news tomorrow. There's nothing else it can do. It's just chopping up, down, up, down. So I took the stop, as always, focusing on the inverse and the bullish fair value gap, taking the first candle that looks green into my direction with the stop right below the fair value gap. And for a risk reward ratio of 5.3 with 8 points of risk, my target was basically those highs. I was watching though and managing my trade around this zone because the inverse could reject lower, you never know, but that didn't happen, and I took my stop for 46 points, almost $1,000. And then again, for one tick, we took the highs, and then we established an inverse and a big sell-off again for another liquidity hunt. This market is crazy. And then again, without taking the liquidity down here, this is super important, because if we were to take the liquidity, sorry, on the 15, if we were, let's see the 5, if we were to take this pivot here, this liquidity, I would have taken along down here, the same as I did here, but we didn't take that, and we just continue grinding. Look at this, another big reversal. And I mean, this grinding higher, I cannot just jump straight. I was super worried about this kind of move for another hunt of that liquidity, because it's basically what it does. What it does during the overnight is just hunt people down and take liquidity for the extremes. So I have enough experience, and you should also have enough experience with the Nasdaq, trading the Nasdaq, that the price action during the overnight is quite manipulated, and also during the open. We are going to see that. So we established this base here, these higher highs into the breakout, and then the final liquidity up here, that there's no more than, that's no more than the same liquidity we've been hunting. And then was this pivot. This pivot into the open was the big inducement higher. And look at this, because I left this Fibonacci here for the golden pocket. Look at this beautiful golden pocket into this 15-minute inverse fair value gap that are at the same level. So we hit that, we induce a lot of bulls into buying these highs, and we just push down, push higher, shorts just retook and added to the positions, and then it started the second consolidation and into the underground. And that's what we did. We did sell off through all the liquidity that I was watching during all this consolidation. So we basically went through that. I don't know why we stopped here. There's not 18,100 round number. There's not inverse fair value gap. There's nothing. So it's just being patient and trying to cope with this kind of moves, because I mean, this sell-off is huge from open to lows. let me just see that from opens to lows, we were 1.30. And from those lows, we recovered 0.60. Right now, we are barely flat. We are barely moving. Because again, another candle of indecision in this range with huge highs and huge lows on wicks. And remember that there's a huge zone being defended with all these wicks, all these shorts, and all this is liquidity. That if tomorrow we get a good reading on the CPI, we can just skyrocket and continue squeezing those shorts. And if not, most probably this level at 18,000 is going to be 18,100 and 80,080 is going to be the open of the hell. The hell gates will open if we have a bad reading and we start going lower. So today is just another choppy day. Previous a big important data. So I mean, there's nothing more than this. It's just manipulation after manipulation, as the huge manipulation into a huge sell-off, into a big reversal. Market is going nowhere. What else we can see? Well, dollar is barely flat despite the V reversal that it's doing. But something really interesting is the yields. Yields are continuing pushing, trying to go higher, but today it's got a big red candle in both the 2-year and the 10-year. The 2-year below 4.5 is good news, and the 10-year rejecting 4.7, it's also good news. A lot of people and investors and analysts are saying that the 10-year above 4.5, it's quite scary. So don't forget watching yields, watching dollar, and watching also small caps, because these are the most sensitive in terms of high interest rates. And when we see these kind of moves and sell-offs into small caps, obviously the S&P is going to suffer, and also Nasdaq is seeing a lot of weakness because Meta is minus 1%, Nvidia is getting destroyed minus 3%. I think this pivot was the last line in the sand. We are now entering the gap. And there's also a little bit of bullishness into Google. Look at Google. Google was super strong into the after hours and into the pre-market. We are at all-time highs in Google. All-time highs at Google. Let's see how we end up, because this looks like a big rejection of 160. And Tesla is continuing pushing higher, but I mean, it has a long way up, the same as Apple. So we got Microsoft at all-time highs, Amazon at all-time highs, Google breaking all-time highs, Nvidia pulling back, and Meta at all-time highs. I mean, it is what it is. If tomorrow's we are expected to see a little bit of relief on the inflation numbers, I think this market is going to roll out a lot of bears that are just piling into this market. Because since the break of pre-market highs, we've seen this sell-off, this huge sell-off, another sell-off today, and all these have been just adding. I mean, there's investors willing to buy up here. I don't know, but this waiting in the middle of the huge range from the big sell-off on Cascari's comments about maybe no interest rate cuts, we are just in the middle. So we've been just chopping around and manipulating, and a lot of people is just losing to FOMO. And I've been trying to scalp a little bit. I've been successful on that, but I've been managing my risk first. And the first lesson to manage the risk on a big important week is just wait for the numbers, wait for the data and the news to come out, and then react. Have your levels, manage your risk, and then you can trade the price action. Because until now, since the start of the week, this has been all full price action. So another day of that. And I think that's all from my side. As always, thank you for your time. If you found this video useful, please give it a like, subscribe to the channel, because I upload videos like this one every single day for market forecasts, market updates, and market recaps. I appreciate your time as always. Remember that tomorrow is a big day, CPI day. Be patient, be disciplined, manage your risk, because that's going to be successful. How you are going to be successful in this world of trading. So stay safe, everyone, and see you tomorrow, Wednesday. Big day on CPI.